Hello, hello. This is Adrienne Obey, Capricorntigress of Astrology, a look inside, and I'm coming to you Virgos for the month of April 2008 or 19, April 2019 for Virgos. And I'm going to apologize ahead of time. I am a Capricorn with Capricorn rising who has my rising is now progressed into Aries, and I'm having a really weird month. So far, I'm just out of it, and I'm just going to be honest about it. So, we'll get through this together. So let me just get a look here, and my mind. Let me see if I have my aspects. Yeah, I did. Thank goodness I wrote that down the other day, where everything is mentally, I'm just not sure. So Virgos, you have an interesting month. Well, you just went through a very interesting month, didn't you, with all that Pisces, but there's an interesting month coming up. There's going to be quite a bit of emphasis for you in the 8th house of money. The 8th house can rule secrets, money, sex, death, taxes. All of those things happen in April. And these are issues that are going to be pretty serious for most of April. On the 20th, the sun goes into Taurus. And so then the emphasis will move off of Aries, and it'll start gradually moving. Things will start moving into Taurus. But in this month, there's going to be a new moon in Aries on less than probably 24 hours. On the 5th, we'll have the new moon in Aries. The sun is in Aries. On the 24th, Mercury is going to be in Aries. On the 17th, Venus goes into Aries. We've got Chiron in Aries. There's a lot of emphasis in the 8th house overall for you Virgos. Now that could mean money. Let's not forget the 8th house is the house of money. So if there's someone out there that owes you money, or you're expecting money, inheritances, big taxes return, that is definitely possible. Chiron heals. Now it can feel a little scary when Chiron's around, but it heals where it is. So it's going to heal your house of money. And it's the money that you get from other people. So it could be money from your partner. It could be money from a business partner. It could be money from the government. It could be money from an annuity, from taxes. It is money. So keep your eye on that, especially on the 5th. Perhaps on the 5th, you'll be able to do something that will generate money, or if someone owes you money, perhaps the 5th is the day you'll get money. And the new moon in Aries is going to be squaring Saturn. So this might make starting things a little difficult that day, but or it just might make things start a little shaky, but go for it either way. Your money is definitely highlighted, and really it's going to be highlighted all month, because on the 19th there's going to be a full moon in Libra in your 2nd house of money, and that's your possessions, what you own. So I'm thinking, if you're doing some type of work or someone owes you money, and it transpires around the 5th, by the 19th you'll have that money, because the full moon it's waxing, it's growing. And so by the time the full moon gets to your 2nd house of money on the 19th, it's going to be growing. There's money coming. I see money for Virgo. Now, one of the things that I'm concerned with, and I know a lot of people have talked about, we've got a couple of major retrogrades going on in the month of April. Starting on the 10th, Jupiter retrogrades And that's going to retrograde at 24 degrees of Sagittarius, and it's going to stay retrograde until the 11th of August. That's a long time. That's your fourth house. That tells me that you may not feel as lucky in the area of things like home and family and security and comfort and nurturing. It's really family and maybe even your mother. So keep an eye on that. It's going to be until August of 2011. To August 11th of 2019. And so keep an eye on that, because that's the overall, that fourth house feel. That could be you as a mother. That could be your mother. But it just seems like the luck is just kind of pulled in a little bit, and you might feel that it's not as exuberant, or maybe it may feel more difficult to do what you might have been able to do in that area. That's your home life, family life, your mothering, or your actual mother. Now, the funny thing is that Mars is actually going to be opposite in the 10th house. And I'm not sure if it's going to hit an exact opposition. I think it will, because Jupiter is going to be retrograding. And so, yeah, they're going to collide or, oppose. And so that's your career sector opposing the home. And so, wow, it could really manifest itself in several ways. I would say keep pushing in your career. I wouldn't be overly aggressive in the career, but I would definitely push forward in the career. And it may be that the retrograde of Jupiter, you might feel some kind of push or pull between your career and your home life, but push in the career. That's where Mars is. That's where the action is. And when Mars is there, it can really make things happen, because that's action in a career. So take advantage of that, okay? On the 20th, the sun does move into Taurus. We've got Uranus in Taurus. And I think we have, Mercury moves on the 17th and enters Aries. And it's going to stay there until the 6th of May. And that's the 8th house again. So that's Mercury in the 8th house as well. So that's quite a bit of emphasis there. Oh, one of the things I did want to mention, that full moon or the new moon that's happening on the 5th, it's happening right smack dab in the middle of Aries, 15 degrees. So this is going to affect people between 11 and 19 degrees, but I'm going to say between 10 and 20 degrees, especially if it's their sun or their moon. And that could be friction if you're a cardinal sign. That's Capricorn, Libra, Cancer. So be aware of that it could cause some friction that day. It's the 5th. And so be aware of that day, because Saturn is squaring it. And I just realized I needed to let you cardinal people know, especially Caps and Cancers, because Saturn, is cardinal or in Capricorn, and that is a cardinal planet. So cardinal area. Yeah, it's all, Capricorn is a cardinal sign. So it's definitely something to watch out for if you have that in your chart. Now, on the 19th, there is that full moon in Libra. That's at 29 degrees. On the 20th, the sun goes into Taurus. It's going to stay there until May 21st. On the 20th, Venus also enters Aries. Again, more emphasis in that 8th house. And that's on the 20th. And it's going to stay there until the 15th of May. So you're going to have a lot of emphasis in that money till at least the 15th of May. And with Venus there, it's going to make things pleasant. So if getting money from, say, your clients has been difficult, it's going to be a lot easier to get that money once Venus and Mercury are sitting in your 8th house like that. That's amazing. Now, on the 24th, Pluto does go retrograde in Capricorn. And that is your fifth house of love and romance and taking chances and happiness and your joy and gambling and, all the fun stuff. You might feel like you don't feel as much fun as you did before. Or if Pluto has been dampening your fun, you might feel that you have more fun now that Pluto is retrograde. And Pluto is going to be retrograde until October. I think it's October 3rd. Now, on the 29th, Saturn is going to retrograde, and that is going to go backwards in your fifth house as well. Now, I think personally, when Saturn goes retrograde, I think it's going to make it less restrictive, less harsh. I think things might lighten up in the fifth house instead of, getting too heavy. It's almost like a breather, like a reprieve. And this Saturn is going to be retrograde until the 18th of September. And when it goes direct, it will be back at 13 degrees of Capricorn. 1354 of Capricorn. So, wow, there's major changes afoot in the month of April. And it's really important to be aware of all of these changes. Now, you do got that emphasis in Pisces a little bit up until Venus leaves Pisces and goes into Aries. You've got Neptune in Pisces, you've got Venus in Pisces, and until Mercury leaves on the 17th, you're going to have Mercury in Pisces. That's a lot of emphasis in your seventh house of partnerships and marriage and your significant other. So, I mean, wow, this might be a time where you Virgos are actually going back and re-examining your love choices and, looking at your partnerships seriously. With Venus in the seventh house, love could be around the corner. And yeah, that's a possibility, or a strengthening of love in a marriage or a partnership that's already there. And also a lot of pleasantness in your actual business partnerships as well. So Venus is a pleasant planet to have in the seventh house. And so congrats on that. Between the partners and the money, April is shaping up pretty good for you Virgos. Now, one other thing I do want to mention before I go, and that is that Cancer is that North Node is in Cancer. It's in the 11th house. It is going to be opposing all those retrogrades. They're all going to make their aspects to each other. So you're going to be looking at this opposition from the North Node to these planets in the fifth house. Again, that is like emphasis on love and romance and dating and children and taking chances and risking and playing the lotto versus like your friendships and your partnerships and the organizations you belong to and the groups you belong to. So there may be some weird, I don't know how that would play out. Put your emphasis right now in the area of groups and organizations and the affiliations and your dreams and your hopes and your wishes and your aspirations. You're supposed to be putting your emphasis there because the North Node is there. So I hope that, and explain it to your partner. Maybe that's what's going to happen. I mean, we're talking all the way up to September and October. So your partner may not be happy that you're spending so much time pursuing your hopes, your dreams, your wishes, your aspirations. They might feel like you're leaving them out in the dark a little bit. But these are things that you have to do, I think, in order to shore things up. And the North Node is asking you to spend some time in that 11th house and make yourself known in these organizations. And with it being in Cancer, I'm sure it'll be something in a caring, nurturing way. So anyway, you guys, this has been my reading for you Virgos. I'm glad I actually made it through. It has been a really tough few days. I mean, mentally challenged, I feel. I still have, I'm sure several horoscopes to do. And it has just been a crazy week. It's been crazy ever since Mercury went retrograde. But, it's like coming out of a funk almost. And so that's what I'm going through. So anyway, you guys, it has been my pleasure. It's been Adrienne from astrologyalookinside.com. If you haven't, please stop by astrologyalookinside.com and subscribe to our newsletter there. And also, you can find me on Facebook at facebook.com/astrologyalookinside. And I give free readings, mini readings at Astrology A Look Inside at our group on Facebook. So just go to facebook.com/groups/Astrology A Look Inside. Okay, Virgos, my beautiful, lovely Virgos, love Virgos. You have a wonderful April, a beautiful Easter, and I'll see you in May. Bye now.